Good morning and welcome to One Lonely Farmer. Yeah, welcome. So we were baling hay yesterday, at least my wife was, and I was finishing up spraying soybeans, and I have to do a little bit more spraying and possibly some corn. And she calls me up, she's like, hey, there's a problem. I'm like, all right, what's the problem? She says, I don't know, the belt came off of the Krone, the baler. Like, okay, what belt? There's only one belt. What happened? So I don't know. And she says there's an issue because it's making marks on the pulley or the flywheel. So, and it's making noise, is what she said. So give me a second here. I'll flip you around. So you could see right here that something was rubbing that and causing damage to that piece, which not a good thing. This is a new pump on this too, by the way. That thing is this pump is damned expensive. All right, so Timothy then, Grant went over and he looked at it and he says, oh, the gearbox is junk. I'm thinking the gearbox is junk? We're talking that gearbox right there is junk? Yeah, he says something. He says the bearings are out of it. There ain't no way the fucking bearings are out of it. Excuse the language, but there's no way the bearings are out of it. So, all right, how are the bearings out of this thing, right? Ugh, let me climb up in here. Bearings are not out of it. It wiggles. At least it did wiggle. If you can look down in here, I'm going to try and show you. The bearings are there, and they're fine. Let's see, can you see that? There's a bushing there that the flywheel is supposed to be sitting on. It is a bearing. You see, there's the bearing. Hold on a second here. Maybe I can my hand on that bearing. Is that it? No, here it is. See, there's the bearing. Can you see my hand? I don't know if you can or not. Yeah. There's the bearing. So the bearing has come out of the face of the flywheel, of the face of the gearbox. I can feel it there. I think that's it. But I'm not even 100% sure. As a matter of fact, I am 100% sure I know what the issue is. There is the flywheel itself. Let me see if I can make it wiggle. There. Oh, Tim got it to move yesterday. There's a bolt that holds this whole entire 1,800-pound flywheel onto the shaft, and that bolt is behind all of. Hold on a second. That bolt is behind all of this stuff. So I got to take the power takeoff shaft off. No big deal. Then I got to pull the clutch off. And then we got to take all of this stuff here off. Unless I can leave all this on without taking that clutch apart and just take all those bolts out of the face of that thing, then I should be able to get to this countersunk bolt. And then we wiggle the flywheel back onto the bearing and then tighten the bolt back up and put it back in there. That thing is heavy, damn heavy, and I'm afraid that if I take the bolt out, because if it's the bolt, whether the bolt broke or whether the bolt backed out, my thoughts are that it just backed out. I'm a little scared. I'm going to have to chain it up to the top there in case it slides off if I take the bolt out, because I'm going to put Loctite on it and then put it back up in there. You got to make sure that thing don't come out again. 1,800 pounds at 1,000 RPMs. That thing could drop out of there and take off across the field. That would destroy cars and trucks and whatever down the road if it made it to a road, because it would just gain traction and just take off for probably 15 minutes. It would just be gone. So that's what we're up to. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking everything apart. I'm going to see if I can take that flywheel apart there. I'll get the shaft off and then I'll bring you along for the ride. So give me a second here. I gotta get things set up.
Thing falls down on you, Dad.
I'll die.
You're gonna be dead.
No, Daddy will be injured, but he won't be dead.
Yeah, This would definitely kill you.
Oh, what? The flywheel? Well, yeah, if that thing fall on you. I thought you were talking about the lid.
Oh, no. The flywheel's what's going to get out from under there right now. I don't want you anywhere near this thing.
Yeah, that thing's bad. Go play with your tool. Oh, you got it out.
Mom, I need paper. Junk paper.
Hmm.
You know?
No. You want to explain to them what you're doing?
Already did.
Oh, I'm a little behind.
You're late to the party.
Oh man. I'm late to the party,
What
huh?
I suspect it is true.
Suspecting it?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether the splines are matched up, but in order to get all this off, I have to move. So what happened is the whole thing slid forward, and this shaft is what's holding it on.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, because it bottomed out. So,
Hey, Mom, I'll make you
really, in order to undo that, I might have to take these bolts out, half of the bolts out, so that it falls off. Because that's a flat face on there. So I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. What was I, 18 millimeters or something? This is an 18. Now we're fortunate, it's a 3/4. I'm gonna go get my 3/4. Remember the first time you caught the place on fire, on fire? Down in North Carolina.
This one, yes. Yes, I remember.
Joe was there.
The second was the 2022.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
Yeah, that was the out of control one. Ow. We'll find that
Yep.
right there by a block of wood.
Block of wood. How are you eating it?
Hopefully I'm going to put it right back on these bolts. Come on. I have enough of them off? Probably not.
Cool.
Let's pick that up.
What is this? My exercise for my foot? Huh, Wendy?
Well, one guy, I guess if you hadn't broke it.
Oh my God. I did not break your baler. It's called normal wear and tear.
Flywheel falling off?
Did it fell off?
Damn.
Did not fell off. See, I avoided the problem. See that? See that?
Can pick that up?
He's such an ass.
Will you figure out how to work that camera? There's a joysticks there, dummy.
Oh, I know. It works. See? Oh, backwards.
No, you were right the first time.
There. It works.
Pick that up for me, please. Sometimes.
Sometimes I wonder.
Oh, I don't wonder. I know.
Yes, William. Those envelopes I do. Yeah.
All right, so Teresa missed the good part. you know, let's skip to the good part. I don't know why that song is in my head. I don't know what it is, but anyway, it is exactly what I suspected, except it broke. This guy here. So what we'll do is we'll get this thing so that it's somewhat where it belongs. Looks to me like it backed out a little ways and then started to wobble and snapped it off. And that's exactly what it looks like. You know what it looks to me, and I don't know if I can see this here, but on the back of it, yep, it's exactly what it did. So it worked its way out until it got to that point and then decided that it would give up. So that's what happened. Not a problem, other than it's going to get some Loctite on it when we get it back together. Now the big problem is getting this flywheel back where it belongs. I've got it wedged up with wood here. Me and Grant did that. We put a jack underneath here because I guarantee you, if I got that thing to come off of there and didn't have it wedged up, it would have came down and tried to kill one of us, or both of us, or all of us, and roll out from underneath there. We'd have been missing toes, fingers, arms, legs, things like that. Because shit that's this heavy is never fun. So the next thing I'm going to try to do is I've got a porta-power with a ram, and I'm going to kind of put some pressure on the bottom side because it's an angled flywheel. So if I put some pressure on the bottom side, it may just, the weight, because I've got it on the bearing at the top. I don't know if you can see that, but I got it started on the bearing in the back there. So I think if I just push on the bottom from someplace here with the porta-power, it'll just walk itself back on there. I got some lubricant, and then I'm going to need to get a drill in there and drill that thing and then back it out. Hopefully back it out. The nice thing is that Messick's actually has this bolt. That bolt is $50. It's $50 for that stupid thing. M16 55 millimeters, which doesn't sound like a very long piece, but you can see, and it looks like, you can see how the threads have backed out. They were supposed to be all the way in there, and I can suspect that in the hole in there, there's probably only a very small bit of thread there. I'll get it out, and I'll show you how I get it out, and we'll go from there. But first, I'm going to get that porta-power and get that thing back to where it belongs. So we have a couple of things. We put the porta-power in. I didn't show that, but I will show you now. Porta-powers are great. Never had one. Glad I've got one now, but you can extend it, put little adapters into it. But what I'm going to do right now is actually take this guy right here off. So what I'm going to do is I don't want to have to get an extension, but I'm going to have to get an extension, just a stubby. We'll pull that off of there because I don't think the splines on that piece are lined up to the splines on the flywheel. As a matter of fact, I'm 99.9% positive that the splines on that are not lined up with the ones on the flywheel. So I just need a short extension, like a little guy like that, which I won't be that way because that's not an extension, that's an adapter. I wondered why they made one that small. I'll do this. And hopefully, beyond hope, I will break it loose with a little breaker bar. And then, after that, I'll put the impact gun on it. Get a little 3/8 impact gun on there, and we will very easily be able to, maybe easally. Maybe I lie. I must lie all the time because this shit never goes the way I want it to. And of course, alright, I do have a solution to that. It doesn't want to do something that I want it to do. What happened? Oh, wife bombed the house. So the house is no longer there because she bombed it. I'm not allowed to go home. I don't know why she bombed it, but you know, I'm not sure whether that means she took a massive shit or whether she actually thought that there was insects in the house and bombed those. But I don't know. I guess we could ask her. I'm thinking it's a massive shit, but no, definitely an insect bomb. There's no bugs in our house. I don't understand why she does this. The kid comes over here and he pets the cat and gets fleas. All right. Okay, so that's one. I should be able to do this very simply. All right. Yeah. I'm thinking that this is going to be fun. I know a friend of mine, he's like, I can't believe you do the things you do. I'm like, what do I do? You just tear everything apart. You just fix everything. Like, well, yeah, I guess that's just the way farming is, isn't it? And he says, nah, I don't do that. He said he can't do that, which now I know why he can't do it. The reason I say now I know why he can't do it is because he's defeated himself. What the hell? The wrong size gun. Oh, wait a minute. I got a little one. Which this little one's actually tougher than the bigger one. But, wow, there's one. See if they just come off. No, I didn't think so. Nope, that ain't gonna go through there. Figures, right? Oh, will it? Uh-oh. Yeah, let me see if I can get you to see what I'm doing. I don't know. Pretty nauseating work. I get full of crap in there. Imagine a little bit of air and it'll be alright. Clean out the holes. Means I've never tore one of these apart. Pretty sure we'll be fine. Cool. Let's do this. Take you. So like every other one is going to be an asshole. Yeah, every other one. The real problem is not that, it's, I've got it blocked up, so I have to go all the way around from the bottom up. Yeah. Oh, the joy. Okay, so we're going to do an okay so. Do a bunch of okay so's. So let me flip you around and show you what I've got here. We've got the flywheel back on its place. I don't know if you saw, you probably saw me do that. You saw the clutch come off, and the shaft is okay. It ain't perfect, but here at the very tip of the shaft, there's a little bit of grinding on those splines. I'm not worried about them because the remainder of the shaft is good. The problem is right here, inside there. You can see, let's put you right inside there. Let's see if I can turn you. Can you see? Oh, man. I don't know if you can see those. I don't think it's going to macro on me. But you can see that the splines are shot at this end. And at that end, they're good. They're good at this end, right? And I thought, so this end they're good. You can see they're perfectly fine. This thing had slid out quite a ways, and it just chewed up these splines. So I'm hoping I can get it to focus. It's not going to, but you can see that they're shot. So, all right, you got two options here with that. You can put it back together, put the new bolt in, Loctite the bolt, and pray that the remaining splines are strong enough to withstand another 70,000 bales. I'm not thinking that that's going to be the case. Because every time that thing turns, it torques, and it's going to torque because it's not solid on there, and it's just going to wear those splines out. The other option, there's three options. We're going with the third option, so I'm just giving you the options. Second option is to clean everything up as best you can with a wire brush, make it nice and polished, the same on this side. Then lay JB Weld in there on those splines and push the JB Weld up in there, put it up in there with the splines, on the splines. Let it set overnight and then run it. Would work, really would work. I called Messick's on that clutch. That is a overrunning clutch or a ratchet clutch. When you overload this baler, that's your last line of defense. There's no shear bolts on this thing, and it goes click, and then the flywheel will spin it like Mach 5000, and it takes a long time for it to slow down because there's nothing else running on the baler. So it takes 10 minutes for that thing to slow down and stop because at literally 1,000 RPMs, the thing's it's motoring. So there's a lot of torque on that thing, a lot of pressure. So you could do it with the JB Weld, and I would not be afraid to use JB Weld on it, except I have the third option. And the third option came here about a week ago, and fortunately it was the parts baler. And Tim's in a really precarious place. What? Yeah, you're in a bad spot, dude. This baler actually has the right hoodie on it. Right? Yep. It does. Whatchamacallit? Well, they're going to take the pump off. They're going to take that bar off. That'll all come off as one unit. The pump is going to get separated from that bar and put on a shelf somewhere because that thing is worth over $2,000 now. Stupid. We don't know if it's any good. It probably is. I don't know. Pull the dipstick. Is there any oil on it? Oh, yeah, there's some oil.
It's a little dirty. But...
yeah, a little dirty oil. I'd be all right with that. These things can take a lot of abuse. Problem is this. This is what kills them. They get holes in the hoses, right? And this is the return side or the suction side of it, so it makes the filter mute. I've replaced.
Soybean dust.
This is full of soybean dust?
The filter.
Oh, really? Then they're baling soybean fodder. So, anyways, they're going to bean straw. They're going to take that off. And we're going to put that on here. I'm not going to use JB Weld. Yeah. But what really started this whole process, or this failure, is right here. To hold an 1,800-pound flywheel on, they use this M16 by 55 tapered head bolt. And it had backed out. Obviously, I think I've shown this already. It backed out to the point where there was 1, 2, 3, 4 threads holding it on. And then it twisted and broke, and that happened yesterday, and the whole flywheel fell forward. So that's what caused the damage to the pump. Didn't destroy the pump. That's a new pump. That's why I know how much that thing cost. So that pump is whatever. Nothing wrong with the pump. But they're going to go do this, and I have to go pick up a trailer. So, yeah, I got to go pick up a trailer for the wheat. And that has to happen now. So I think I'm just going to throw William in the truck and go get a trailer. And then we'll come back to this when I get back. And we'll put it all back together again. That's how that's going to go. Maybe not. All right. We're going back together again. Grant broke a fin off of the fan for the air compressor. So I'm changing the oil in it, but I wanted to tell you that this took a lot of effort, and I could not get the camera in places that it should have been without it getting knocked over, and Teresa went for the bolt to put this thing together. But I will show you. Let me shut you off here for a second. I'll show you I think I already showed you that. But there's a couple of things that happened. And a couple of surprises with this design, which, you know, I wasn't too thrilled with. So this is a bolt that came out of the donor baler, okay? That was that, and then there's a top hat thing around here someplace, which I don't see it, but it should be here someplace, which is where that goes in. I used the new bolt and put it inside there. It's all on the back side of these 15 Allen-headed bolts. There's 6 here and maybe 12 there. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. 14 and 6. So there's 20 bolts there, plus the we had to take the clutch apart to get that out of there, obviously. And then because the flywheel had slid forward, it compressed this, which then made us have to get a long bolt, and use it as a guide so that I could so I put the long bolt on, got it threaded inside there so that we could just take a hammer and smack it. There's a dead blow hammer around here someplace. So I took the dead blow hammer. No, I didn't. I used a little sledge. That thing's 20-pound sledgehammer. Smacked that a couple times. It came out, you know, slid back into place, and we were able to bolt it all up. Yeah, it's a bit of a job. Now the crazy thing is that this flywheel actually just sits on 2 bearings. It sits on 2 bearings, and then this clutch, this ratchet clutch or breakout clutch, and this slip clutch bolts to this clutch. So you got the flywheel, which is green ring is attached to the flywheel. Then you've got a clutch, which is if you hit a log or something and it stops the plunger, it doesn't break stuff up there, it breaks away here. And this slip clutch is here for when you start the baler. It'll slip a little bit, and as you're going, it'll slip a little bit every time the plunger hits. So you kind of got to tighten those every once in a while. The crazy thing is that when we put that bolt, the broken bolt, we replaced it with a brand new one. When we put that together, I realized that the splines on that clutch, I thought it was preloaded, that it would be like tight against the flywheel, preventing it from sliding back and forth, but it isn't. That actually floats in there. This flywheel floats on the splines on that clutch, which to me wouldn't have been my first choice in designs, but we had a choice. We were either going to JB weld the thing fast, because the splines on the new clutch that we put in isn't brand new clutch. It's the clutch out of the donor baler, has some wear to it, and I wondered why it had wear to it if it was tight, but it wasn't, and there's no way to grease the damn thing. So what I did was I took some graphite grease, really thick, heavy graphite embedded grease, and we put that on the splines, and that should stay in there for a long time and keep it from wearing prematurely. It's already worn, but if I get a year or two out of it after this, great. I'll be okay with that. But we're going to plan, if we decide to do any straw baling in North Carolina in the next year or two, that'll be the first clutch that gets, that's the first thing that gets replaced on the baler before we go anywhere. And it needs to be done anyway. So that's that. So Grant's putting that thing back together. I have to get some oil into it. I'm going to use some Mobil 1. Probably shouldn't. I should probably use 1540 in that, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, let it be a little thicker.
Yeah, because it is just a air compressor pump, but it doesn't say what I'm supposed to put in it. That's the crazy thing. But he's replaced that fan, and we'll get this all back together again. Sorry you missed the tough part of it. It took all three of us to get the son of a bitch back in there. But it's in there, so that's that.